And we are live. R&R with the Lords. Y'all getting that new intro right now. Hope y'all like it. Check it out. Little revamp, you know what I'm saying? Roundtable reviews. Fresh out of Joker. We got my man Kai Batsu and special guest, Lord Meds. You know, first time in the building with the Lords, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, we just came out of Joker. These are raw reactions. Everybody has a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to set it off with Sovereign. Lord Sov, you just finished seeing a very powerful piece. So what do you think, man? What is your impressions of Joker?
So just so you guys know, it's full spoilers. This full spoilers. So when we post it up, we'll let you guys know this is full spoilers for this movie. I have to say, as a lifelong Batman fan, and particularly of the Joker, because the Joker for me has always been the perfect antithesis to Batman. He is the reason in a lot of ways why Batman sort of is, and vice versa. Batman sort of is defined by his obsession with the Joker. I thought this was an amazing performance and look into how one person can possibly go from being someone who is mentally ill and feeling that he's been sort of kicked to the side by society, and then just in a roundabout way find sort of his place in the world by literally stepping into madness and realizing and understanding that what other people deem to be horrible is his happy place. It was a fantastic performance by Joaquin Phoenix. I have to say, like, as an origin, it is up there with anything I've ever seen. Batman Begins, like, we'll talk about how I compare it to other ones, and because there's specific things about it that I don't think it's this movie's fault, or because of its origin story, or it has anything to do with Joaquin Phoenix. But there are reasons that I feel maybe a certain other performance encompasses the Batman feel more. But beyond that, it was amazing.
We got Lost Over. Yo, we got to get Meds in the building. We got special guests in the building. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Bronx scenery. We felt we saw Meds. But, you know what I'm saying? It felt that was Bedford. Yeah, that felt like Bedford. So yo, I'm gonna give it to Lord Meds, man. Raw reactions. You were right next to me watching this thing. I was seeing your face. We was vibing. What's the word, man? What's the energy on Joker?
Okay, so I'm going to be coming with a lot of hyperbole here because I just saw the movie. We're literally in the theaters in the seats we were sitting in. Best origin story I've ever seen, right? Possibly the best performance of any actor I've seen in any comic book-based movie, period. Straight up.
Are you saying he coming for Heath?
I think he surpassed Heath. I got to say, I think he surpassed Heath. It was a different style. Not necessarily exactly... You know, what he did great was that he didn't try to do Heath. He did his own thing. And I thought it was beautiful and perfect. And the Bronx scenery that... I don't care if they told me that this movie was filmed in D.C. That was the Bronx, okay?
The grime of an 80s New York City was perfectly realized. Like, that was 80s New York City, grimy, dirty,
that subway, that everywhere. Like,
you even see the little things you hold on to on the train that they don't have those anymore. Yes. So yeah. Before I pass it off to you guys, fantastic film. Recommend it towards everybody. Maybe I'm a little crazy because when he started killing people, I was laughing. Like, I was loving it. I was squirming in my seat. He was sitting right next to me, Cognito. I was squirming, smiling, laughing. That was the best part. The violence was like, whoa.
It was because it's expected, but that was the only thing that felt like a punchline. Yeah. Everything else was just dry.
And one last thing. I love how he definitely killed some people, and they didn't even show it. Like, it was implied that he killed them, which was beautiful. Like the lady that he seemed like he was dating, but they weren't dating at all. It was all in his head. He definitely killed her daughter, killed that doctor at the end. Yo, incredible movie.
No doubt, you already got messed. So Kai Batsu, you know, we have some maybe differing opinions of the vibe I'm getting from you when I was watching your reactions. A little different. So I got to hear from Lord Kai Batsu, man. Where you at with this thing? Where you at with Joker?
Well, the one thing I definitely have to say about the movie is that it is one of the greatest tour de force movies I've actually seen that I'll probably never want to see again.
That disturbing my heart.
It's just when you go through the life of seeing Arthur Fleck of what he's going through, is you could see that he doesn't have much in life. He's gone through a lot of hardships, and just for the sake of his mother, who told him one time that, like, you're born to make people laugh, you're born to make people happy. But as you're going through the actual movie and seeing everything that he goes through, from his work to the way that he interacts with people, and plus also the condition that he deals with, is like the movie tries to play is like that he's trying to just live within the life as a joke. But then it's like as you go through the movie and you see everything that he's going through, you realize this Joker comes about because life is a sick joke, and he becomes the Joker to actually control the narrative. And the thing about it is that when you're watching the movie, it's like watching a loaded gun. You're waiting to see when he snaps, something else happens. Like he gets attacked, he loses his job, and it goes into the foundation of the Joker in the comics, which is one very bad day causes him to do this.
Let me get in on this, man. That was fire. Here's the thing, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I didn't know what to expect coming into this film. I purposely stayed away from all spoilers. I just saw reactions from people I trust, and it was to the point where people were like, "Yo, this is a very powerful movie. This is a must see." So coming into it, I kept my expectations in check. I have to admit, just the setting, grimy, Gotham, aka the Bronx, but we ain't gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it was just like seeing his life, seeing everything that this man is going through. He did become a sympathetic figure. Yeah. And the thing that really hit home for me was, I know me and Mez, we were talking about it during the thing, the depiction of mental illness, I think, was done so well, because there were times where I'm like, oh, he's dating that chick, or I'm like, yo, I need to start stalking chicks, because all I got to do is pull up and she'll smile and I can get the joint. You know what I'm saying? So
I have to kind of throw my hat in.
You ain't like the stalking trick?
No. Actually, from the way the interaction that was going on with the love interest, Zazie Beetz, is that you could tell, because he was doing way too many things that any normal person would have seen as red flags.
Right.
So you could probably already tell what the twist was there.
But I just felt it was shot so well that it had me fooled, because
Gotham is so effed up that I figured, she's like, all right, this crazy guy down the hall that I think is cute is stalking me. Right. Okay.
Hog and I thought she was like a Harley Quinn-like figure.
Yeah.
She was also crazy.
Like she enjoyed that. Like,
exactly.
Like
she liked that he was crazy.
That made sense. That totally made sense.
But that was the flip, that even though this was going on in his mind, which was shot so well, there was a little pinch of me that said, well, maybe, this is real, what's going on. It was done in such a way that you could possibly think it could happen, even though part of me was like, nah, fam, like, he's a little wild. You should see some red flags not to be messing with this dude. But then as it progresses and then the layers comes off and his insanity deepens and it gets crazy with the illness, and you start to see the layers film away, and it's like, no, this is in his mind. He's really gone. And it was just so well done, man. I just think right now, we're going to get into my next joint, which is comparisons and all that. But I think right now, as far as origin is concerned, explaining why he is the way he is. And I know Saw feels a little differently about what I'm about to say, but I thought it was so. Normally, I don't care about why the villain is the way he is. Joker's a very intriguing character, and I definitely think that this was done in such a way that I understand. I get it. I'm like, and I get him as the rallying call for all these people. Because let's be real, it was like almost a societal thing, like the rich versus the poor, the whole. And then we got to talk about the Batman tie-ins now. Right. It's fire. So I'm gonna get back.
So, specifically about the Batman tie-ins?
Well, just whatever you want to go into next, Batman and performances.
Well, honestly, performances across the board. The movie, to me, was so well acted. Again, in a lot of ways, it didn't need to be a Joker movie. This was a movie about anybody, anybody finding out that everything in their life has been a lie. And then how do you react to that? And how do you react to that in the context of the world that you live in? And I think his reaction crazy as it may be, wasn't necessarily out of line with the world that they showed us. So I thought that was fantastic. The small little nods to Bat, obviously the Thomas Wayne connection and the sort of the how they fooled us into thinking that he was related to Thomas Wayne.
Can I jump on hold on, was it? Yo, I thought they was gonna flip it like Joker was a jump off, like was a jump off baby. Like yo, don't front guy. I was like, oh, Thomas Wayne was out here freaking. They actually brothers.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was, if they had really gone that route, that would have been kind of nuts. That would have been, but again, they teased it, and then they said, no, it's not that. Obviously, little cool things. I don't know if you guys noticed when he went to Wayne Manor, and young Bruce was on the monkey bars or whatever. He slides down the pole. I was like, oh, like 1966 Batman, 1 foot, 1 foot. But it was like, oh, little things like that. So the fact that they do begin to tie it into Batman is what I enjoy, right? Because you would hope. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix is not the type of actor to do multiple movies in the same character. That's not him. But I would love to see his Joker versus a Batman in that world. I don't know that we'll ever see it, but that's fine. So then going into why, if you're going to start now, let's get into the comparisons between him and the GOAT till now, obviously Heath Ledger. There are two things that don't have, for me, these are personal things for me. When it comes to the performance, although they did specifically start to talk about these connections with the Wayne family and Bruce and Batman and whatever, obviously as an origin story, you don't get into how deep that goes. And modern Joker is very much defined by his obsession with Batman and the fact that Batman he can't break Batman, right? And Batman's obsession as well is defined especially in the modern time, by how far Joker pushes him, and the fact that the line continues to move a little bit when he has to deal with Joker, because he understands that it's the immovable force versus whatever the immovable force versus the immovable object, right? So that obviously isn't conveyed in this movie because it's an origin story. So that's not the fault of that. Now, my other issue, and then this is a personal thing for me, I love seeing origins when it comes to a hero. I like to see how a hero rises up.
No love for the villain.
Love to see villains too, but when it comes to the archetypical prime villain, there's something to be said for not knowing where the monster came from, right? When you compare it to horror movies, what they've recently done with Michael Myers and try to give context for why Michael Myers is a psychopathic killer, I think it diminishes the character because he's just not a killer for the sake of killing, right? You understand where he comes from in a certain timeline, right? And I think that for me, part of what makes the Joker so amazing is the fact that you don't know. You just don't know what brought him to this point.
So you would say that ruined a little bit?
It didn't ruin it for me, but it takes some of that mystique away from the fact that he's just evil for the sake of evil. He's crazy for the sake of crazy, and he's become obsessed with this figure that's just as crazy as him, but on the other side of the coin. And I just don't think, and I think once you give context for how he got there, it diminishes that a little bit. Doesn't diminish the performance, doesn't diminish the origin, but as just talking about Batman's primary villain, I was okay with not necessarily knowing.
Not knowing why.
Exactly.
Let's get Mez and get Kai.
Go to
Go
Kai.
ahead.
Go to Kai.
Yeah, you sure?
No, he
Kai would
has
jump in.
to-
Yeah, Kai would jump in. Kai would jump in.
No, the one thing I definitely want to say about it, also, first of all, I'm kind of disappointed that you guys actually thought that relationship was real. I'm sorry.
Like, yo, I need to start talking.
Crazy, fam.
Sup, yo?
That was like, there was so many red flags.
What are you saying about your imagination?
It's like, hey, I saw you stalking me. You want to grab a cup of coffee?
Fine.
But when it comes to what you said, that you were kind of disappointed in learning the origins.
Yeah.
If you think about everything that actually went into the movie, How do you know that any of it is even real? And it goes into one of the things that I liked about the movie and about Joker's main origin. That Joker even said it himself. He said, "I prefer my origins to be multiple choice."
Oh yeah.
So, and the thing is, there were so many things in the movie. At first, it was something that irked me about the movie. But as I watched it, I realized there was a lot of situations where, like, they were Deus Ex Machina, where they fit perfectly into showing him as a hero.
Right.
Like, I'll give you one example, especially with the talk show host, Murray.
Yeah. Shout out to Robert De Niro, by the way.
Yeah, Robert De Niro did an outstanding job.
Yeah.
The one thing that kind of caught me off guard with it is that after he confessed his crimes, he let him talk for like a good 15, 20 minutes in the chair, and nobody was calling the cops and stuff like that. There was a lot of instances in the movie where that happened, where it seemed like everything was perfectly fit to show his point of view, which is why, like, it kind of irks me as a movie because it seems Deus Ex
You want the
Machina.
realism factor to be like, okay, at this point they should shut him down, and this should have been.
Yeah, and especially like the whole situation is like, hey, yeah, you stalked me. Let me take you on a date.
No doubt.
But also, I mean, as time went on, I kind of appreciate about the movie because, like I said, the foundation of Joker is subversion. He doesn't want you to think exactly what you wanted to think. He wants to give you so many options that you really don't know what's going on, and the movie has that in spades.
Fair enough. I want to get meds, man. I need some more context and performance, brother.
A couple more. Okay, so obviously Joaquin Phoenix, fantastic. Robert De Niro killed it this movie, and Robert De Niro's been in several stinkers as of late. So shout out to him. Little brief cameo by my boy Brian Callen. Shout out to him. The woman, what was her name? Zazie Beetz. I shouted out to him. Incredible. The way that they shot the city, to me, just like you guys said, gritty 80s New York City, like dirty. Like New York City didn't look the way it looks now back then. It was grimy and dirty and crappy.
Also had a Summer of Sam vibe, which
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And back to what you guys were saying about the origin story and how it's subjective and perhaps even multiple choice. It cuts back at the end to him talking to that doctor who he ended up murking.
Right.
Who's to say that was just him making up the whole movie was just him making up that story to that doctor?
Well, that's one thing that makes sort of I thought might be like the twist at the end of the movie was that Joaquin Phoenix isn't even the Joker,
right?
And the actual Joker is telling this version of his origin to this doctor, right?
Yeah.
So it's very much a story that he told, and he embellished in a lot of ways. Absolutely.
It looked that way to me as well, and I like the fact that they told the origin story. I know you like the ambiguity, but I loved it. Well, that's my thoughts. Shout out to Cinepolis for letting us record this after the movie. Give it back to Cog.
They get about to kick us out. The R&R is almost expired. But listen, man, fantastic film. I think all you guys make great points. I think the main thing that came away from me is, again, just the understanding of mental illness and his, I think, again, not just a sympathetic figure, but I also felt they portrayed well. One of my biggest things with watching Joker and stuff in the comics, right? I always say this man is insane, right? Why? How could he get any bit of a following? And I think this was the first time I understood why people would follow him. And yeah, because you watch every Batman movie and everything that, a whole bunch of clowns around. I'm like, who realistically gonna follow this dude? But I think this was the first time that the wall was cracked, and I'm like, yo.
It gives it a believable context.
He didn't start the movement.
Exactly.
The movement started. He sparked the movement without knowing.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And again, just the whole thing, the tragedy, so to speak, with the mother and everything, and finding out your reality of what it is. And then even that horrific scene. Now, I want to get to the controversy just real quickly, is that I've seen some comments and people be like, yo, this is not the movie to see. And people are like, yo, like people are trashing this movie. You know what I'm saying? Some people. All I would say is that in context with this character, this, in my opinion, is beautifully done. In context with what's going on. Now, if you want to take this and, watch this and do something else on your own, that's your own business. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, in pertain to the source material, it fit, and it's a great interpretation as to why he could possibly be that way. That's all I'm getting out of it. But that's what I got, man. Anyone else? Any of the Running Lords got anything else before we wrap up? Any little final thoughts? Look, man, R&R with the Lords, revamped, reloaded. Lord Beds in the building, Lord Solve. You already know we're going to be trying to do this at least once a month and get back. And like I said, please give us your feedback. Let us know what's going on. You already know Sunday is the Lord's Day, 11 a.m. Eastern, NFL Standard Time. And yeah, man, anything else?
King gonna give me them knees tomorrow.
King might bend the knees. Yo, King, we miss you, man. Kai, any shout outs before you get out of here, man?
No, again, even though I'm not around usually, I just got to give thanks to my boys. I mean, we've been doing this for, about 2-3 years now?
Longer than that, man.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of success with it, and a lot of it is thanks to all you guys, the viewers, and everyone who comes listen to the podcast. And again, even though that this is hard work for what each of us do every single day, we appreciate all of you. And just keep up with us because there's going to be more bigger things coming down the line.
You already know, man. R&R with the Lords. Catch us again, hopefully the next big film. And after that, that's it, man. So everybody enjoy your Sunday and all that good stuff. We'll catch you. Peace.